welcome you all in this educational video of NIOS. This video is for subject Library and Information Science. Code number for this subject is 339. This is for senior secondary level. This is lesson number 2. Name of the lesson is Types of Libraries and Information Centers. This video is part 2. Let us now see the objectives of this video. The first objective is to identify the types of libraries like public library, academic library, special library and national library. So mainly there are 4 categorization we will discuss in detail. And the second objective is in continuation of the first objective. Like in the previous objective, we had understood the 4 different types of library. So second objective, we will explain all the parameters. Now this slide you can see, there are different types of library. The first is public library. The second type of library is academic libraries. And third type of library is special libraries, and fourth type of library is national libraries. We will understand in detail all these libraries further. Let us now see this image. It has the detailed explanation of all the 4 types of library we just seen. Please see this slide. We just discussed in the previous slide that there are mainly 4 types of libraries. The first type of library was public library. It has mainly 4 points which you can see on the screen. Public library has 4 types of library. First is hospital libraries. So whenever we get sick, we go to the hospital. So the medical doctors or the nurses, they often use this hospital library. All the people working in the hospital, they use the hospital library. Another kind of public library is the prison library. So the people who are in prison, because we know that in prison sometimes people who are imprisoned, they get the punishment of staying in prison for sometime 2 years, sometime 5 years, sometime for a lifelong. So they need to be given awareness and knowledge through the books. So prison library is used in the prison. It is a kind of public library. The third kind of library is, third type of public library is mobile library. That is, that moves from one place to the other. The fourth type of public library is children library. So children use all those library. It has the stories, different kinds of stories, different kinds of fun books. So this is also a public library. And the second type of library which we will discuss here is national libraries. National libraries has mainly 3 different types. Like the first is copyright depository library. It has all the material which has copyright. So no one can copy all those content. Another type of national library is subject special library. And the third main type of national library is central library of national importance. The third type of library is academic library. It has mainly 4 points under this. We know that schools have library, so that is a kind of academic library. University also has library, and then college also has library. College libraries are the kind of academic libraries. And the fourth point is the institutes of higher central library of national education importance. So these are all the academic libraries. We have understood the three types of library. Now this is the fourth type of library, which is special library. We know that special library can be of three different categorized. The special library can be categorized into three different types. The first is by the ownership. In this, by ownership, we can say that it has mainly six types of library. The first one is judicial libraries. All the law related books, all the fine related book, all the rules related books are there in the judicial library. The second is the museum library. In museum library, we can see the all historical informations are there in the books. Who was a king, at what time, when was his kingdom started, and how many years he lived. All the information can be gathered, can be received from the museum library. And also sometimes there are private library which comes under the private library. Fourth type of library which comes under ownership is monasterial library. The fifth type of library which comes under ownership is medical library. The sixth is the technical library. And there is another category which is by readership. In this, we can categorize it in two ways. The first is visually impaired, the second is PWDs, persons with disability. So they also have their library which comes under spatial library. And the third categorization which comes under special library is by form of subject. We know that there are different kinds of subjects, but in the form of subjects, we categorize this library in the main four subtypes. The first type is manuscript library. The second subtype is the Braille collection. This is for the visually impaired. All the visually impaired people can get the Braille books here or information in their own Braille form or the audio form. Because in library we have all the kinds of technical instruments available. So audio visual maps are also found in the spatial libraries. And virtual digital libraries are also a subtype of the special library. So we can see that there are three categorization which comes under the special libraries, and special people can utilize these libraries. So we have understood all these libraries in detail and their classification. The first was by ownership, the second was by readership, and the third was by form of subject. Hope you understood all these points clearly. Thank you. Namaskar.